What's up guys, in this video I'm going to show you a few modifications you can make to make your LEGO Ghost set even better. Now this actually is a pretty good set and I do think it is well designed, but there are just a few things I want to change to make it even better. And those things include a nice tiled off exterior that looks a lot better, a 360-degree rotating turret, the boarding ramp that should have been there, correctly colored engines. And then in the interior, I added in the bench that should be there and the little chessboard and made a few other little changes. And I did also do some modifications to the Phantom 2, but since it's so small, I decided to just do some PDF instructions instead, so you can find those on Rubrikable. I'll link in the description. But anyway, those modifications are, I rounded out the bottom here, and that looks a lot better, a lot less like square and bulky. I thickened this piece so it doesn't come off as much. The engines are the correct color, and also with the fixing this area, this is now just comes off and is on a hinge, but it can still fit a minifigure. So for the first and easiest modification, you just tile off the sides just to make it look nice and smooth, and I think that really improves the look. It's pretty easy to get the pieces to do. The only ones that might be a little hard to find would be these 4x2 wedges on the other side, and also this newer little wedge tile. Other than that, it's just regular white tile, so you should be able to find that pretty easy. And if you're wondering how much of a difference those tiles make, well, here is the untiled version, and then here is the tiled version, and I think the tiles make it look much better. You can decide for yourself, but I really do think it makes a big difference on the overall appearance. Another very easy modification to do is correcting the colors of these engines here. They should be yellow ideally, but unfortunately these 3x3 round dishes are not available in translucent yellow, so orange is the next best thing. So in order to make the spinning turret, here are the pieces you will need, and how you do it is you can start by removing this section right here. So you just got this, and then put this tile right here to fill that gap, and then pop off this section right here as well. Remove this piece and these brown pieces, and you're going to put on the 2x4 plate. This could be really any color, I guess any color that works with this, so lime green might not be a good choice, but gray, white, black, whatever you want. Then put this on the turntable, put this on here, and then we're gonna snap this back where it was, and now we have this spinning piece. So then what we're gonna want to do is put this piece on here, the clip on there, have the bars sticking off like that, and then this last clip is going to go onto the window and go right on here, and then it spins nicely, and then just find the ends of the cannons and use these little lightsabers and put like so. And there you have it, and you won't need these pieces. Alright, so for the next mod I'm going to show you how to have this little cargo thing that goes under there. So the first thing you need to do in order to do that is remove this section. We'll come back to that. And then also take this top piece off. And you're going to flip the whole model upside down so we can make a few changes here. And basically what we need to do is move this thing right here, the spring-loaded shooter firer, because that's going to get in the way, and I do not care about spring-loaded shooters anyway. So you're just going to pop this piece off and take off this little removable piece here. This can go back on. This slope here is also doesn't do anything, and that piece. And then when we've got it flipped over right here, we're gonna add a 2x6 plate right here, and then take these little Technic pins and put them right here. Then you build a little thing like this, or you could just use one of these. I only have one of these larger pieces, so I have to use one of these. So pick whichever works for you and put that on there to make it look a bit better. I'm gonna do the same thing over here. Alright, so then you're gonna take this little piece here, pop it off of the Yoast, and remove the little rotating gun from off the bottom. And then pop the actual part of the gun off. You'll want that in a second. This you won't need, you can set it aside. Then take a 2x4 plate and these brackets, and then put a 2x2 plate on a 2x4 tile and a bracket on that, and do that twice like this. Put that on the bracket right here like this. Then you can put the 1x2 by 1 2/3 snot brick on there. Then put these little plate tile pieces on a 2x4 plate, and these little tiles with clips on here, and put the gun on that like this. Snap that on the snot brick, and then put that on the bottom of this here. And yeah, it doesn't actually open like it does in Universe. I tried using like clips and stuff to have this piece hinge open, but there was such limited space inside that it was like really pointless to even have that. Like you could probably only fit like little 1x1s and stuff. Like you couldn't even fit a little box or anything. So I just decided it's better to have it like this because this is a lot stronger than having a clip. And yeah, I think it's the best solution. And it's up to you whether you want to leave the spring-loaded shooters on or not. I mean, you can still shoot them. You just don't have that nice little firing thing. Or, you know, they do have a nice 2x4 tile on there that you could use up here and a few other good pieces. So you can also just completely take them off, and that's fine. This is what it'll look like with them taken off, so. Alright, so next we're going to make a few changes to this piece right here. There's just a few inaccuracies, like this thing is too big. These stickers here should be right here on this angled part. This piece also sticks off too far. As you can see, it's one step forward and really should align up with there. So here is what it will look like when it is finished, and I think it looks a lot better. So here are the pieces you're gonna need. The hardest ones to find will be these wedge pieces here. They're pretty new, but they're to make that angled piece the right size. So, and keep in mind, these are the pieces to fix this side, so you'll need to double it to fix both sides. Alright, so you're gonna start by removing this whole big piece right here, and take off these hinges here. So keep the blue clips where they were, right there. Then we're gonna take this piece here that was right here, and we're gonna take it apart and pretty much reuse all the pieces but put them in a different spot. So that piece goes right there, this piece goes right here, this piece goes right here, this piece here, and this green one right there, and then put the tile and this one like that. So you'll be left with these two pieces from that assembly. Then you're gonna take your 2x6 tile and put that right there, and then grab this piece and take off the ingots and put these pieces on here. Alright, so then to build the other panel, you're going to take this piece here and the piece with the sticker and put them on like that. And then take your little bar pieces, snap them on right there. Then let's put on the wedges like that. On the wedge plates, fill in the space like that. On the 2x6 plate, it's going to go underneath that, and the 1x1s are gonna go on either side of the clip like that, and then flip this out. And then this is going to, with this where it is, there's not going to be enough space, so we need to move it forward. And in order to do that, I want to remove at least one of the panels. I guess the other one I don't need to move. Anyway, remove this thing right here, flip this back, and take the slopes off of that, and then move. You can take these off too, and move this one forward like this, and push it back in. Then you can put this back on top, and now you can put that on and attach these, and it fits very nicely. And then put the main panel back on. Like that. And there we go. Alright, so now we're gonna do the inside modification. What I want to do is there's kind of these, I guess you could call it a door really, so that these could be used as a boarding ramp and go into the ship, and I think that's a cool idea, but that is a puny door. Like a minifig cannot fit through that. So I'm gonna swap them out for these doors, which are a little bit bigger, still kind of small, but it's the best that will fit in the ship. And also they're black. I do not like the way the red looks. So in order to do that, we're gonna take a whole lot of things apart. So remove this section here, remove these panels, remove this section here, and then we get to something that was definitely a problem for me when I first did this. This piece here is a technical thing that goes all the way down to the bottom of the ship. Fortunately, there's an easy fix for that. You just push on the bottom of the ship and pop out this plate here, and now you can easily remove these Technic pieces. Well, you can take this piece off. Leave the brick just so you can keep track of that. Alright, so then here we go. So we move these two bricks over one plate for each, and then just pop out this thing here, and this is what we're getting rid of. And put the door piece in here, and then this would normally go there, which kind of blocks the door, so instead we're going to use this arch piece right there, and then take this and put that back on right there, and then put the Technic pieces back, there it is. Put this back on. There we go. And then before you put the floor back in, do it to the other side. Once you've gotten that door fixed, don't put all those panels back on just yet, because we've got more mods to make. First of all, I just want to fill this little gap right here. I know there's a bunch of gaps throughout the ship, but this is the most noticeable one to me. You can figure out how to do the other ones. They're you just put a plate over the gap. But this one here is the one I want to do. So you just take it apart. Put this piece on right here, and this one on top of it, like that. And then just reassemble the whole thing. Pretty simple. Alright, and now we're going to add in the seats in this back space here, but you might notice there's not a whole lot of room to do that, so we're gonna fix that by getting rid of these sections here. And speaking of like wasted space, there's actually a bunch in the set. You might have been wondering about right here why you can like have some beds right there. That turns out there's just not space for a minifig lying down with some of the stuff on the underside of the panels. That all kind of just comes together, and there's not much space there. I did try and fit minifigs there, and maybe you could move a whole lot of stuff, lower a couple plates, and maybe then you can make it work. But for the most part, it's pretty much impossible to get anything into there, really. I think you might be able to get something into there. I'm thinking about maybe trying to build a room or something into there. But that would require a lot of pieces, so that'll be for another video. Well, and also underneath the Phantom, you might be able to do something, possibly? I don't know. I'll have to think about that. There's not a ton of space, but you might be able to squeeze something in there. But getting one of these is actually very easy. You only need 2 1x6 bricks in black. So here's how you do it. So start by removing this tile, then you can just grab this whole engine piece, and it'll just pop off like that. Then grab this piece here as well, and lastly this stack of bricks and stuff right there, so it's like that. Then all you need to do is take this plate, put it right there, take one of these, put it right there, take your 1x6, put that right on there like that, where the other black brick used to be. On this whole section can actually just go right back onto there. Perfectly fine. I haven't noticed any structural issues by making it shorter. And then you just do it to the other side. And now to build the chairs, start by putting a brick right here, and then one of those pieces. I put 2 plates on top of each other, put them there. Get a jumper, put a round plate on the bottom, and put that right there. Put a brick there, and another one of those. Then stack some 1x1 round plates and put a tile on top, also round. Put that in the corner. And then get a bracket, your triangle tiles, and like that. Put that on the jumper, like that. Then get a brick and a slope, and put that there to make the back of the chair. And then also, if you have one, you can get the little hollow chest piece. I'm borrowing this from my Millennium Falcon, and put that in there too. And there you go, a nice little living space. And that's my last modification, so you can now put all those panels back on. So now you might be wondering, how on earth am I ever going to be able to build this set again if I've made all these changes that I'm not going to be able to remember? And so what I actually like to do is use little sticky notes to help me remember what to do. Like, for example, some of them are really simple. Don't add this piece. Other ones have to get a bit more specific, like I have to draw the piece, and I am not good at drawing, so what I actually do is I take a flashlight, and if I turn it on and put it underneath, like underneath a sticky note, it'll shine through the sticky note, so you can actually see everything you need to draw and just trace it all. So that's how I drew all this. The only thing you have to actually draw is whatever piece you're moving or adding. And then I also colored it blue to help me remember and added a couple of notes. So I've done a few things like that throughout here. You can see these ones. I left little notes for how I did it. That. It's just little notes to help me remember what I need to do. sometimes I did have to get a little bit creative with how I showed these, just so I don't have to redraw everything. And so yeah, that's what I would do. It does take a little while, but I'd say it's worth it so you can actually build the set again without having to like redo all the modifications every single time. I hope this video has been helpful because I really do think all these mods are really great, and thanks for watching.